do that so that alleviates some of the. So you still have cap space, right? I don't know if you give up Barrett though the way he's playing right now. If you have to give up a pick, so you can sweeten the pick if you need a role player to take over like that wing, Barrett's wing, like right. So give me this guy plus him. Right, like, and I don't know who that guy is. Like, I say McDaniels because I know McDaniels is he's a 10, 8, and 5 guy, right? With a couple blocks, he'll play defense, and that's what Tom Thibodeau wants.
Yep.
Right? But if you look around and the reason why I asked that is because I look at the 76ers, and they have 4 or 5 draft picks. They got like 8 wings. We hadn't had 1 wing. Now we have like 8 wings, right? And people are talking about who to trade for. And I'm like, okay, Zach LaVine, I would love if Tyrese Maxey was a true point guard. But Tyrese Maxey is trying to learn to be a point guard, but he's just he's a great guard.
Yep.
Right?
That
and he's undersized. So if I'm going to put a 6'7" shooting guard, right, and can he defend? Right? Because we have enough defenders, right? But we don't need 2 mismatches at guard, right?
No.
Okay?
Excuse me.
And I look down here, right? Who am I going to get? If I was to make a trade, like I think the Cavs right now just need to get healthy, and I think they'll get better, right? But the problem with the Cavs is the same thing if you put, like, say, Donovan Mitchell and Brunson together, right? The Cavs have Garland and and Mitchell, right? And that's just if you play any real guards, if you have a great 2-guard team, those 2 are not playing defense the same way because I'll just post. If I'm 6'4", 6'5", I'm posting Mitchell up.
Yep.
Right now, yeah, Mitchell could probably score with me or even outscore me. But if you can't stop me, even if you score 30 and I get 26, that's too close.
Yep.
Right? So I look at it now, the Cavs are 11, so I think the Cavs will work their way up, right? But then I look at the Raptors, the Magic, the Bulls, the Wizards, the Hornets, and the Pistons. And I look at the Bulls, Wizards, Hornets, Pistons, Magic, and Raptors, and I go, okay, there's 6 teams. What players do those 6 teams have that can be game changers for a team that wants to contend? And I look at it and I go, I don't know. Like, nobody's trading Lonzo Ball.
No.
Right? The Pistons aren't trading Cade Cunningham. Okay? The Bulls have DeMar DeRozan and LaVine, so I was thinking, this is my personal thing, if the 76ers wanted to trade for LaVine, I'd also trade for DeMar.
Really?
Here's why. I'm going to have to give up a plenty of picks, right? I'm going to have to give up plenty of picks. I'm going to probably have to give up 3 or 4 role players, a couple young ones, and then a couple, like, established ones, right, to the Bulls. So why don't you give me LaVine, who I could put at the 2 or the 3, right? And then DeMar can come off the bench because I'm going to lose some bench scoring when I got to give up 2 or 3 players that would probably get minutes.
But then you got to ask yourself this question: then, can DeMar will he be comfortable with that bench role?
Well, that's why you got to talk to him. You still gonna get your money tomorrow.
Yeah, no doubt.
Right?
Yeah, he's gonna still get his dough.
If we go to the West, right? You look at it. You go to the Nuggets, the Mavs, the Timberwolves. New York. Warriors, right? The Thunder, the Rockets. I'm not sure the Rockets can sustain that for the whole season. They got a better team, but it's not. I don't think they're going to go 6. The Suns are going to pop up once they get healthy. Hopefully, the Pelicans I think are better than a 4-4 team when they finally are healthy. The Kings, are going to be towards the top. So I would say the Rockets are going to come down a rung, right? I think then you look at the Clippers, the Kings, the Pelicans, right? The Spurs are not going to be a top 10 team. The Lakers should be a top 10 team easily. The Trailblazers are not going to be a top 10 team. The Grizzlies, they're not. Until Ja comes, even when Ja comes back, they're not a top 10 team right now. They got to gel and they got to figure.
How many games he got suspended for?
25. 25, and they're already 1-7. If they were 3-4, 3-5, I'd be like, okay, they're still within striking distance. They're 1-7. Like they think about it. They have 17 more games. If they keep this up, by the time he gets back, they're going to be 4-21.
Yeah,
that's not a whole. If they're if they start winning. But they're also in the West, man. You're gonna play like that's a murderer's row right there. I look at the Mavs. The Mavs are a better team, but I don't think they can't sustain top two in the
Not for
in
the whole
West.
season, no.
No, so I'm looking at it, I'm going, okay. So when you look at it, you're going to have to wait, like, for trades. I think you're going to have to wait until mid-season to figure out really who's like, it's not worth it, right? If you're a team like, say, the Pelicans. Say you're a team like the Pelicans, right?
You know they still got down there Zion.
Brandon Ingram. They got C.J. McCollum.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
Right.
Okay, but isn't he out hurt right now?
He's out hurt right now. So is Brandon Ingram. Right. They got they got Hawkins, Jordan Hawkins. Shout out to him, UConn. Right. So they got some decent players. I'm looking at it going, who is the superstar that's going to get traded this year?
You really think there's going to be one?
To be honest with you, I don't see. Like, this is the first year I think in basketball that I don't look at teams and go, you like literally suck. Like, you know, like in the past, like there's that 10-win team that you just know you're garbage. Like, right, as a 76ers fan, I knew for about 3 years, like we were winning 12 games on purpose, right? On purpose, and it's like, trust the process. I still don't trust the process because we should have chose Jason Tatum over Markelle Fultz. I don't know how fans out there are right now, but I'm looking at that draft going, oh yeah, we did a good job there, right? So, you know, anybody could throw a dart at the board and hit the bullseye once in a while, right? Yep. So I look at it and I go, I don't know who's going to get traded. Like, Dame went to the Bucks, right? And Dame's a great shooter, great scorer, but Holiday could play defense.
That's what I love about him.
And the team I've purposely not talked about yet, but now we're going to talk about them because number one, I just can't stand their fan base. The Boston Celtics.
How'd I know you was going there?
A couple things about them to start the season. Number one, they have Holiday, they have Derek White, they have Jaylen Brown, they have Jason Tatum, and they have Kristaps Porzingis. Incredible. Question. Who else do they have?
Nobody.
This is the problem when you create a team, right? Is that everybody thinks you need 4 stars, 3 or 4 stars, right? And then you luck out on a couple people on the bench that want to join your team, right? But what you're really doing when you have 3 or 4 stars and paying them $25 million or more.
How much did Brown sign for last year?
Like $50 million a year.
Yeah.
But like Jaylen Brown, don't get me wrong. If he was on the 76ers, I'd be happy as hell. He is not worth $50 million a year. He has the same amount of turnovers and assists. Not good. Right? Is he clutch? Like, if I pay you $50 million a year, I have to have faith in you like I had faith in Kobe and Jordan. Okay? Yep. Like, as much as we've talked about this in past podcasts about sports and stuff, like, look, I'll give LeBron $50 million a year because I may not have faith in him to hit that shot, but I have faith in him to make the pass.
Yeah, that's
the perfect pass. Now, do I have faith in the person he passed to hit the shot? No. Right? But the idea is he'll make the perfect basketball play. Right? And I understand if I pay him $50 million, he may not be the killer I need, but he's going to be the sustainer I need. And if I could just find a Robert Horry, imagine a Robert Horry on the team with LeBron.
Ooh.
Like that one person. Imagine if Holiday went to the Lakers.
Yep.
Like that. Listen, so I look at that and I go, who do you think, like, and when I say star, I'm not talking about like I'm not talking about Giannis. I'm not talking about Embiid. I'm not talking about Luka. I'm not talking about those like the Kevin Durant. I'm not talking about them. Like that second, third tier star who's just like, I'm sick and tired of this shit. Right? That's the person I'm talking about. I'm talking about like when I watched the Commanders lose. And their defensive tackle, Jonathan Allen, was like, I'm sick and tired of this shit. Either we got to do something or I need to go. Like, right, where you're getting fed up. And I'm looking at those stars, and that's why I say like a Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, right? I'm looking at, you know, maybe OG Anunoby from the Raptors or Siakam, right? Siakam would be a decent, like, I want a great, he's not a great player, but he's a very good player.
Yeah.
He's going to get you 20 and 10, right? Like, who's going to get traded? Like, what player is going to make a difference? The Mavs aren't trading Luka and Kyrie unless Kyrie does his Kyrie, right? And even then, you're not getting the same amount back for him.
Nope.
Right? And if you trade Kyrie, Luka's out. That's what I would say. Luka's not going to sit there for hours. The Nuggets aren't going nowhere, by the way. They outside of Jamal Murray getting hurt, the Nuggets are just like.
And that was just recent.
Listen, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I'm going to be honest with you. Jokic is the best player in basketball.
I agree with you on that.
This dude can't. Listen, this dude has my jumping ability at 45 years old. Mm-hmm. Like, I could touch rim now. Mm-hmm. He's going to be able to dunk. Now, if I touch rim, I may not be able to walk. Mm-hmm. Right? I may get 18 inches in the air. That's it. That's all you get out of me. And that's only if there's like a pit bull running and I got to jump. Right? So my thing is, this dude is just like, he has, when you look at him, there's not like he has good footwork. Mm-hmm. Like, so it should go to show, like, all these basketball players out there, you don't have to jump for your vertical doesn't have to be 45 inches
to be successful
right?
in this league.
You just got to learn how to have great fundamentals, good footwork, and allow yourself to understand, if I beat you by one step, you still on my hip the whole time. Use my body, and you can't jump over me.
And the thing I like about the Joker, though, be honest with you, I read a story before last year. This dude does no workouts during the off season.
Well, he does though. If you look, he works on a ranch. Like, he owns a ranch.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, but he's like the farmer. He's like Larry Bird, man.
Exactly.
Larry Bird didn't have to go and work out because his ass was working on a farm the whole time.
And I remember reading the story how he was pissed off how he couldn't go home when he wanted to because he had to go through the parade.
Yeah. He's like, I just want to go home.
Yep.
I'll say this. I think the top, if you look at the top player who I could see getting moved right now, I think it's Karl Anthony Towns. Because I don't know if him and Gobert can sustain, just because they kind of play the same. It's harder, right?
They got the same style of game.
Yep. I could maybe see like a Jeremy Grant from the Trailblazers, right? Getting traded. So you're talking about third, fourth tier stars, right? And so I think this NBA season is a lot different than any other NBA season, because I think that nobody looks at like right now, the Nuggets are number one.
Yep.
Like, they're just number one. If they stay healthy, they're number one. They have the best team. Then the Celtics are going to be there because they have to learn how to coexist and what roles everybody's playing. But they can match up. That's a matchup nightmare. If Kristaps Porzingis stays healthy, and maybe they make one trade to find like a good bench.
I think where the Celtics may falter a little bit, they're definitely going to miss Marcus Smart
and Williams.
Yeah. Yep.
Grant Williams, because Grant Williams would play. He would guard the best forward on another team, and he didn't care. He didn't know that his role was like, dude, you're a role player. Like, he thought he was a superstar, but he was almost like what's the dude that always talks shit to LeBron? Dylan Brooks. No, it's Dylan Brooks.
Dylan Brooks. I thought you said about Lance Stevenson.
But no, Dylan Brooks. Like last year when he was barking at LeBron, and then they go back and forth. Like, they don't realize that, like, dude, this is the best player in the world. Like, it's like somebody talking shit to Michael. It's like, yo, okay. You may get him one time. You may, like I always, I have a saying. You may win a battle against me, but you ain't winning the war. Right? So I look at it right now and I go, man, the parity in the NBA right now is amazing. I mean, listen, Giannis dropped 54 points, I think, in 25 minutes. The other night against Indiana, like I said, Indiana plays no defense, and they lost by 2 because Dame was out. So I think. Right now, looking at it, this
thing won't get cleared up until after All-Star break.
But here's the thing: since this is a preview, we got to pick some winners.
All right.
So I'm gonna go out right now. This is gonna be my top 6. I'm not gonna do 7, 8, 9. This is my top 6 from each division. Okay. So I'm gonna go Celtics 1, right?
Are you picking these in order?
I'm gonna pick them in order. So I'm gonna go 1 to 6, and I'm gonna pick them in order based on the end, not right now. I'm going to go, based on what I think, it's the Celtics 1. I think the Bucks will end up 2, right? Because eventually they're going to learn how to play and everybody's going to fit the role. I think it's the 76ers 3. I think they're the third best team right now. I'm going to go with number 4. I'm going to go with, I think if you're looking at the 4th best team right now, it's the Cavs. I think if you think so? Once everybody's healthy, I think the Cavs are the 4th best team.
All right.
I think number 5 is going to be – number 5 and 6 are fluid to me. I think number 5 and 6 are going to go between the Heat, the Knicks, and the Nets. I think those – I'm sorry, the Heat, the Knicks, and the Hawks. I think those three